We've got 8 Chucky films and 1 TV show, although the TV show is not on this list. So it is now time to stop and rank all 8 Chucky films from the worst to the best. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. And today I am ranking all the Chucky movies from Child's Play 1988 to Child's Play 2019. And be sure to let me know your ranking in the comments below, because with a franchise like this is a very divisive franchise where there's some people that love some of these films and hate passionately some of them. So this will get very... Let's just make sure to stay, let's just say nice in the comment section, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you like horror rankings like this. I have a few more on the channel. I'm going to start trying to get some more horror rankings out, so if you guys have suggestions for horror franchise rankings, make sure to let me know what you guys would like. I cannot promise I can get them done because I'm still only like 15 years old, so there's some stuff I can't get done at the moment, but I'm going to try and get some more horror out. And be sure to share this video so it can get some more views, so that is the best way to help support me right now, is to get my channel popular. And with all that said, let's get started. In last place at number 8 is Child's Play 2.
What are you, fucking nuts?
Okay, now I have my fun, but really in last place is Seed of Chucky. And I was expecting to absolutely hate this film, and I was entertained enough by it. It's more entertaining than the film I'm going to talk about next, but I will say this is definitely the worst of the franchise. And there's some weird stuff in here, like the fact that we're getting Jennifer Tilly, who plays Tiffany in these movies, is playing the actress Jennifer Tilly in a Chucky movie, but then Tiffany, who is played by Jennifer Tilly, is wanting to transfer into the body of Jennifer Tilly.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Weird. Very, very weird. And that's just some weird stuff. It definitely focuses much more on the comedy side. Glenda is annoying. I am sorry. The fact that he keeps peeing his pants is unbelievably irritating. Even when he's in human form, he does it. Yikes. And a lot of the jokes do not land, but some I thought were like very cringy to a point where I actually had fun with them slightly. I get it, I'm in the minority on that one, but it's not like where this is like worst of the worst, like this is one of the worst films of all time. It's not that terrible, but it's definitely not a good film. If you're someone that hates this film, thinks it's an abomination of humanity, I get it. I do. I am entertained enough by it. I will rewatch the film before the one I'm going to talk about next, but it's definitely the worst of the franchise, and there's some weird jokes in here, or like the plot about Chucky and Tiffany wanting to impregnate Jennifer Tilly using a turkey baster? What? Just, again, weird stuff. And I'm also not a very big fan of the finale, where you had so many great finales in this franchise where Chucky's just being demolished and having everything torn off of him in like the first 4. And then what happens in this one? He gets killed because Glenda, whichever one it is, that Glenn/Glenda uses karate on him. Well, I think it's karate. Again, weird stuff, and so I can watch this film and be entertained enough, but it's definitely the worst of this franchise. At number 7 is Cult of Chucky. Of all the films on this list, this is the one that has by far the worst writing for Chucky. I felt like this one, pretty much every line he is given falls flat, and it's one where he's not even in the film too much. Well, Curse of Chucky does that too, but I at least felt that they had some comedy in there. That, again, Darker is one of the least funny versions of Chucky in that film, but at least his writing was still up to speed for what Chucky is. This one, it felt like his writing was very off. Something was definitely wrong, and it felt like, of all the films on this list, this is the one that is the most boring and bland of the franchise. I gave it a pass. I gave it 3 stars. It's a bit of an improvement. I like it more than Seed of Chucky, but I would rewatch Seed of Chucky more. I have a thing on my letterbox where I do Rotten Tomatoes, and then I do entertainment scale. And Seed of Chucky, I gave a higher percentage for an entertainment scale because this film I wasn't as entertained as Seed of Chucky. But I would say this is a better made film by a country mile than Seed of Chucky. And this is one that went direct to video, and it feels like this was the first one that probably feels like it was direct to video. Curse had moments where you could tell was like it's a bit more like confined to where you could be like that might have been direct to video, but it's like this one it's pretty obvious, and there's some CG in here that looks rough. That looks awful. I believe there's like one where I think one of the patients gets her like head like just it like the glass like chops her off her head off. It looked terrible. I do not think that was practical, and if it was, that was awful practical effects. I'm pretty sure it was CG. And it's not even the good CG, because when you go direct to video, you're done. You don't have very much access to like the good CGI. You have the bad CGI and you have nothing else. So I would say that this one, there's some fun to be had, like Andy doing the thing was like taunting Chucky's head that he destroys in Curse of Chucky. Well, doesn't really destroy it, but he did rough it up pretty good in Curse of Chucky in the post-credit scene. But it's one that I felt like this is the one that has it feels the least child's play, because part of what makes a Child's Play movie Child's Play. Okay, maybe Child's Play 2019, but anyway, we'll get to that one. But anyway, it's just, I have fun with it enough, but it is one of the most boring and bland in the franchise. At number 6 is Child's Play 2019. Now, to be perfectly honest, there's a pretty big jump from Cult of Chucky to Child's Play 2019. A pretty big one. So, I do enjoy Child's Play 2019 a lot. I think it has a lot of really good stuff going for it. I think that the kills are awesome. They are very brutal, which I'm a horror guy, so when you make some brutal kills, it means you've done something right, because I do enjoy seeing some really brutal kills. Unless it's CGI, in which case, well, you know what to do then. But anyway, I would say there's some things that hold it back from being possibly in like the top 5, or maybe even top 3. But number 1 is that Chucky's look is awful. It looks terrible. His look is distracting. Like, I get you don't want to like rehash what he looks like with Brad Dourif's version, but yikes, his version is distracting in this one. It looks terrible. Like, he looks very almost like he was kind of melted and then he looks weird. We'll just say that he looks kind of like he was melted and then like redone or something. But let's just say he doesn't look good. And another thing, I think the other one that holds it back is I think it feels lifeless. It feels like it has the skin of Child's Play or of, well, shall we say Chucky, but it has none of the meat or the part of being very comedy centric thing. Like, they're not all comedy centric. Like Curse and the original are fairly mostly a little bit more dark and to some extent cult. But I felt like this one kind of went the AI route, which I do respect a lot. That they could have just done a copy and paste remake, and they did not. They really separated themselves. And I feel like it works better as its own film. As a standalone, I think it would have worked even better. Where Megan already tried to do that, and it's already being being compared to Child's Play 2019 right now, just as much as Rambo Last Blood has been compared to Taken. But anyway, I think it feels lifeless, and it doesn't feel like it's like leaning into the comedy side, so it feels soulless. So I have a lot of fun with it. It's brutal. It's awesome. There's some really cool things. Like, I love that scene where Andy wakes up and we see the I think it was the stepdad's face on that, the skin of the stepdad's face on the watermelon, because they were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and when, like, Leatherface skins the guy, and they were, like, laughing. That was an awesome kill of, like, seeing like, the skin of that boyfriend who you hate at that point. You wanted him to die. And luckily, Chucky is the unsung hero for that. Thank you so much, Chucky. And seeing it on the watermelon, that was awesome. It was brutal. I loved that part about it. So I do think that this is a really good film. It's just there's some more on this list that I would say are better. At number 5 on this list, which might surprise some people, is actually Curse of Chucky, which a lot of people love this film, having like their top 3. And I do enjoy this film a lot. I just think that this is a great franchise, one of my favorite horror franchises. It's definitely one of the most consistent, where Seed and Cult kind of screwed with that one, but it is for the most part consistent. But anyway, I think Curse really would have puts it down lower is because I think Chucky is not in it too much. He's not really Chuckying it. And, well, also, you hear what I said about the doll in Child's Play 2019 being distracting? It's even worse than this one. The doll looks horrendous. Like, unbelievable. It looks terrible. I mean, they had a TV budget now because they went direct to video, which a lot of people thought, oh man, this film is going to suck. Because when you see a horror franchise go direct to video, they are done. That's like the kiss of death for the horror franchise. They always destroy themselves when they go direct to video. But anyway, seeing that doll, I mean, they try and find an excuse, but I mean, they had to have found a better doll somewhere. He looks good when he like takes off part of the skin to show the scars, which does make it look better. But so far, for like the first hour of the film, when we don't see too much of him, it looks terrible. Especially that face he makes, the smirk when he like kills that lady. It looks atrocious. It's like a very distracting kill, which is really, really bad considering that this film. That kill was a very genius kill, like dropping water on a plug to electrocute her. That was a very decent kill, and it was partially ruined because I cannot stand having to look at that awful face. So aside from that, it's a great film. I do think I think that it did what it probably should have, where it took Seed of Chucky and it kind of course corrected it and went back to the horror route that the original film was mostly in, where it's a lot more serious. There's almost no comedy in here. There's like moments, but the Chucky's, this one competes. No, it's probably the second most serious in the franchise. Of the Chucky's, definitely the second most serious, and I think it's really good. The kills can be brutal. It's one of the most gory in the franchise, which I do like. I like my carnage candy, so it is really good. And there's just some stuff about here and there that bothers me. Some of the acting is really bad considering that this was direct-to-video, so you couldn't get like some of these great actors. You had to settle for some direct-to-video actors, and it does show because there's some really bad acting in here, mainly from the little girl. Her acting is pretty terrible. But anyway, it's a really, really good film that I do have a lot of fun with. There's just some more in this franchise I think are better. 4 on this list is going to be sacrilege to a lot of people, and that is the original Child's Play. But this is still a great film. This is a 4 out of 5. From Curse onwards, these are all 4-star films. So I have a lot of fun with this one. It's definitely one of the most dark in the franchise. It's not as violent or brutal. It's one that you could probably show your kids. It's only rated R. There's like an F-bomb like here and there, but other than that, it's not very brutal. And there's some creative kills in here. Like there's like one where Chucky kills a guy using a doll, one of those like dolls where he like puts his like soul or something into it, to where, I mean, it's like a doll that if you like stabbed the doll in like the hand, it would hurt the guy's hand a lot. It's like that, and he like kills him using that. That's a really creative one. And it did spawn one of my favorite horror franchises, so I am grateful for that. It's just really what always holds it back is it's not as rewatchable because it's more horror, and because I think Chucky, he's not Chucky yet. He's more of he's still the killer. He's not really the funny guy. There's like one here and there where on an elevator, a lady says, "What an ugly doll," and then he's like, "F you," when they leave. But there's some snarky stuff that he says here and there, but overall, he's a lot more serious in this one, which I think it's better when Chucky is a bit more serious. And to some people, it's the opposite, and they think that he works better when he's serious because when he's silly, they can go too silly. I think that he's a lot funnier when he is more in the silly route. I think he's more entertaining that way. So he's good. The third act's really cool, like where he just is getting demolished, and also there are some effects where they're like trying to say that Chucky's walking around and they'll have like a little person in a suit because they couldn't like pull off some of the stuff. So some of that has not aged very well, but overall it is a really, really good starter to a really, really good franchise. In third place is Child's Play 3. And I know this is a wildly controversial pick for number 3.
What the fuck did I do wrong?
But I have had a lot of fun with this one when I watched it, and I do not get any of the hate for this film. There are some people that like to say that it's basically just a rehash of the first two. It's a rehash kind of two in the way that Chucky is basically Chucky, but overall it takes a different story route in like this military setting. But I think that that's interesting. I think that Chucky, he's off the hook in this one. His one-liners are awesome. This is debatably the most one-liner cracking Chucky. It's between this one and 2, or Bride. And those 3 are easily the ones where he's like the funniest. And I love his character. I think that he's hilarious. Some of his lines are amazing and hilarious. He's just so fun and funny and terrifying when he wants to be. And I think the kid that Chucky is tricking, he's a bit annoying, but well, kids are annoying kind of, so that means that he's doing his job right. So I think that it's really fun, and I think that this is probably my favorite third act of the franchise, and the third act of this one is just awesome, where like he gets half of his face destroyed, or like cut off. That looks awesome, and some really good effects with that. And I do think that he is still real fun in this. I think Alex Vincent, I think is his name. Yeah, no wait, no. Alex Vincent, I think was he in? Oh no. Whoever plays him in the third film, I think that he did a good job. I do not know why he gets the hate just because he was a recasting from the first 2, but because this came out a year after the second film and they wanted to do a sequel, but they needed Andy to be older, so I do not understand the hate for his character. So I do really enjoy this film. I have fun with it. I love Chucky's one-liners, so I do really enjoy the film. Now my next 2 are basically just tied. They're both some of my favorite horror films of all time, and I love both. But at number 2 is going to be Bride of Chucky. And this is, of the 2, this is the one I've rewatched, the closest to my ranking of I rented it and watched it yesterday, so I have some really fresh thoughts. And of all the ones on this list, this one is the one that flies by the most. I turned it on and it felt like it had been 15 minutes. I look and I had like only half an hour left, and I was genuinely shocked. So it would have been like 50 minutes, and it flies by. I think that Chucky, this is my favorite look of Chucky with his like stitched up look and like the little bonker little eye that's like kind of out. That looks awesome. That's a great look. And I like the way that they have Jennifer Tilly as like this counterpoint to Chucky, with him saying like, "Oh, you're so in the 80s with those knives." I love that, with like him, with like her insulting him, saying like, you're so outdated. And there's some really funny jokes that go along with that, and Chucky just being more of an oldie with that type of stuff. And let's be honest, knives are original. Let's be honest. But anyway, I think that this is definitely one of the funniest Chuckies. It's up there with 3 and 2. It's definitely one where they leaned into the comedy side of him the most, besides Seed. And pretty much every joke lands. I think Katherine Heigl and her boyfriend are very unlikable, but that's kind of on purpose. I mean, not really on purpose, but I feel like it's dumb where they immediately like go off on a fling and they're wanting to get married, but the second things start happening and getting in motion, they're immediately blaming each other for the murders. If you guys love each other that much, maybe trust each other. I mean, just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. But anyway, I can look over that because Chucky and Tiffany are really fun in this one. I think that the kills are awesome. Like that one where the guy gets all those like nails to the head, so he looks like Pinhead, and Chucky's like, "Why does that look so familiar?" I love that. That's a really good one. There's some really good 90s references in here. So I do have a lot of fun with this one. It's just, it must bow down to the king of Child's Play, which I think a lot of people will know which one that is. But coming into first place is Child's Play 2. And this is a fantastic horror film. Definitely one of my favorites. It's definitely like top 50 for sure. And I think that this is the one where we get some of the most one-liners out of Chucky. He's a lot more funny in this one. I think that the look of him looks surprisingly fantastic. He looks like he has this glow to him that looks fantastic. I have no idea what they did to glow him or something, but he looks so great in this one. And there's just some great moments in this movie where this and Bride are close. I would need to give this one a rewatch, but this one is right now my number one because I do love it so much. And I think that the Factory third act is fantastic. It is phenomenal. And I like how he just keeps going. He gets he gets his hand severed, he keeps going. He then gets his legs chopped off, he keeps going, and he just will not stop until he kills Andy because he finds out that he's been in the doll too much, so for too long, so he's now trapped in there. And this is just such a fantastic film. I think is it Kyle or whoever it is, Chucky's now adopted sister. I think that she's really likable. She's one of the best characters in the franchise, and she is really fun. And I do think that she has a nice counterpoint with Andy, and how Andy is now having to get this brought up again, where again he is being told that Chucky is not real, which is something that is always occurring. Like, it's a doll, it's not alive. Where we've all been afraid of dolls, let's be honest. But I do think that this is awesome. It's a great sequel. It improves upon the original in pretty much every way. Its effects are pretty much better, and Chucky is better in this one. The kills are better in this one. So pretty much everything about this one I think is better than the original. So for me, my number one for now is Child's Play 2. There you have it, everyone. There's my ranking of all 8 Child's Play / Chucky films from worst to best. At number 8 is Seed of Chucky. At number 7 is Cult of Chucky. At number 6 is Child's Play 2019. Big gap between Cult and 2019. Then at starting our 4 stars, we have Curse of Chucky. At number 4, we have the original Child's Play from 1988. Then we have at number 3 is Child's Play 3, fitting. At number 2 is Bride of Chucky, and at number 1, The Crown Jewel, the best of the franchise. The number 1 is Child's Play 2. And again, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like and share the video if you guys like rankings like this. And also, be sure to let me know what your ranking is in the comments below. And what do you guys think of the Chucky films? Do you love them? Do you hate them for its comedy? But what do you guys think of them? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one.